Piker going to jail, Gavin Newsom jail, Obama jail, Comey jail, everyone that decides to be a terrorist jail. Hot take, hot take. If you're a terrorist, you can go away. Donald Trump didn't say those words exactly, but that's what he meant. I understood it. Jail! That's what he meant to say. Anyway, lock in. This is crazy. So Donald Trump made a tweet the following. All right? This is insane. At the request of Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, I am directing Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to prevent unnecessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland and any of our ICE facilities under siege, attack from Antifa and other domestic terrorists. I'm so glad we're finally labeling domestic terrorists like domestic terrorists. And I am also authorizing full force if necessary. Fuck yeah, baby. Drone strike terrorists. That's what we're so back. We're so back. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So now, this tweet came out, and in my opinion, it's a pretty basic tweet, right? It's like, if you want to attack law enforcement while they're doing their job, we're going to arrest you, right? You're waving foreign flags very often, basically coming into our streets, vandalizing property, looting shit, attacking police officers, killing us. A lot of people seem to forget the whole killing us aspect of this fun little drama. The whole murdering us and celebrating our deaths. All right, so Antifa is obviously, as we know, the militant wing of the leftists, and the media is the propaganda wing of the leftists. Yeah, I'm going to keep saying that until it sticks, because realistically, that's where we're at. Now, there's currently a war going on Twitter where Gavin Newsom, governor of California, decided to put a target on an innocent man's head. So today we're going to cook immensely. You have no idea how bad things are. So this is the rapper Ice Cube. I bet you none of you expected me to go there, all right? I'll be real. I'll be honest. I'll be real. I bet you were like, Nux is going to show us how Gavin Newsom is literally telling his people, from my perspective, from my analysis, is he's telling his people to kill people, right? That's my analysis. I think Gavin Newsom should be arrested as an instigator of domestic terrorism. But hey, that's just my opinion because I'm based. I am the media now, but no one expected me to talk about Ice Cube. So this is Ice Cube. He was having a simple day on a tour bus, all right? Simply on a tour bus, driving around the streets. You're like, Ice Cube, what are you talking about?
Goddamn, I'm glad y'all set it off.
Sorry, we can't play music as a copyright, but as you can see, Ice Cube's tour bus looks like it came out of war-torn Chirac, which is what we call Chicago these days. A lot of people are unaware. What happened? What happened to his travel bus? Oh, it was firebombed in Portland, Oregon, because they thought it was ICE agents. Look, I'm sorry for your bus, bro. I'm sorry. I am sincerely sorry about what happened to your bus, my guy, but this has got to be the funniest fucking thing of all time. Okay, I'm really sorry. So apparently they firebombed in Portland, right? War-torn Portland, Oregon. War-torn Portland is currently under attack by Antifa. See, I am also Antifa. A lot of people don't know this. Antifa, it's my sexual alignment. All right, so anyway, anywho, JD Vance has been a little bit on fire lately. You have to understand what's going on before I dive into what's currently going on in Portland, Oregon, because finally these people are getting arrested. So, this is how MAGA responded after Bud Light had the audacity to feature a trans influencer in their ads. So spare us the bullshit about violent rhetoric from the left, JD Vance. And this is a video of some dude who doesn't like those she-males in their advertisements with a gun. And there he is shooting beer cans. All right, so that's classic, shooting some Bud Light to show protest. So they're like, as you can see, it's both sides. As you can see, it's both sides. Both sides are the problem here, clearly, as we can know. We know that both sides are the problem, as we can tell, by violence on both sides. Because Kid Rock has a machine gun. Alright, both sides. JD Vance responded with one of the greatest responses of all time. I call upon all of our supporters to stop the violence against innocent beer cans. And I call upon all left-wing radicals to stop inciting violence against people. He fucking killed him, okay? I'm not gonna lie, he killed him. It's over. He killed him. This is what we call murder on the timeline. All right, some would argue that this wasn't incitement to violence. This was just straight up bloodshed. That's what I would say. Because that's where we're at. That's where we're at. The left sees shooting beer cans as violence. The right sees shooting Charlie Kirk in the neck as violence. We can never align with this. Like, we're not on the same page. So, speaking of the late and great wise Charlie Kirk, died on the front lines of freedom of speech against the radical fuckers on the far left. All right. This over here, this lady, is a Democrat candidate for Congress in Michigan. All right. So they're definitely setting their best.
Hey MAGA, how bad does it hurt? The Jimmy Kimmel's back, but you guys can't get your person back.
Running for Congress, by the way. All right. These people are demons. I'm just saying, they're demons. See, I always say that people made in the image of God, we have inherent morals built into our very beings, okay? Just because we were made in God's image. And we have our soul whispering the difference between good and evil into our ear. But the devil is also whispering into our ear and flipping shit on its head. Now, some people have guidelines to the code. I don't know, scripture of some sort. I don't know, some way to guide you onto what really is good and evil and which whispers are coming from the devil. She doesn't have these guidelines. All right, this is what a demon looks like. Anywho, just to know what we're up against, this is Hassan Piker in his stream yesterday, just nonchalantly doing this. All right, let's make this clear. Is that Hassan Piker just casually humming and singing the Antifa song that was literally written on the bullet of the guy that murdered Charlie Kirk? You know what else was written on the bullet of the guy that murdered Charlie Kirk? Catch fascist, which is perfect timing, because this is a tweet from Governor Newsom's press office, and this is going to be a focal point of the video. We're going to be talking about what's going on in Portland, Oregon, but you have to understand the social media war. All right, again, I've said this the whole time. The leftist militant forces have two wings. They have the militant wing, that's Antifa on the ground, currently in Portland, Oregon, and then they have the propaganda wing, that is the media. So this is Governor Gavin Newsom, all right, tweeting, Stephen Miller is a fascist. Stephen Miller, for the record, he's just one of Trump's boys. He's there in the Oval Office. He's the bald Jewish guy, always handing him executive orders while being based. That guy, the guy that basically by Charlie Kirk's thing was like, yeah, we can't unify with evil. We have to destroy evil based. And Stephen Miller is a fascist. Now, a lot of people would absolutely notice the fact that this tweet is basically, in my opinion, trying to get Stephen Miller killed. I really am not trying to mince words. Like, I could sit here and be like, oh, it's just an analysis of political analysis. No, really it's not. Really, this is a tweet trying to get one of his radical fucking retards to murder Stephen Miller. Like, I don't really see another perspective here. Stephen Miller even retweeted and is like, why do you think they posted this? And the reality is, it's because they want someone to kill him. Because he's effective. And we're going to show you how effective he is. We're going to make sure this backfires. Because, you see, I am also the media now. Not just you, me. I also the media. So therefore, I am also going to show you some of Stephen Miller's greatest hits. I'm going to show you exactly why they're scared and why they want him dead. Because I'm done mincing words. I'm done running around this. I do believe this is an incitement to violence. I do think Governor Newsom's press office, or whoever the fuck is running this account, absolutely needs to be looked at as an incitement of terrorism. I think absolutely we need to start actually taking this seriously, because this shit keeps happening. We had anti-ice on a bullet of a guy that just shot at ICE agents. All right, in Texas, we have hate fascist catch on a bullet of a guy that murdered Charlie Kirk. All right, we had a constant, fascism kill Trump shit. The transgender retard that shot up a Catholic church and killed 2 kids. Like, dude, we're living in this era, and this is putting a target on the back of an innocent man. So I decided to make this tweet because this is my political analysis. All right, my political analysis of the Gavin Newsom tweet is as follows. 10,000 Antifa transgender furries are currently etching this very post onto bullets as we speak. That's where we're at. Yep, absolutely. 10,000 Antifa transgender furries are writing this onto bullets, and we know this is happening in real time. Yeah, absolutely insane. Turn down the temperature, man. It's both sides! Look at the data is empirical. As you can see from this chart, both sides are inciting violence. I'm really glad people are pulling out my data. This data is from the ADL, by the way. The ADL, the Anti-Democrat League. Holy shit, we need to start the ADL, the Anti-Democrat League. Anyway, as you can see from my chart over here, It is empirical. The data is empirical. I'm so sorry to be the guy to tell it to you. So people are also noticing. I'm not the only one that thinks this is an incitement of violence. Someone assassinates Charlie Kirk and wrote anti-fascist writings on the bullet casing. Now Gavin Newsom's press office posted this. Why? Makes you think it's because they want someone to kill him. All right, I know this is the quiet part. Everyone's like, hey guys, we should leave the quiet part. We shouldn't say the quiet part out loud. Well, I firmly believe in saying the quiet part out loud because people are pussies. All right, they want him dead. They want him dead. They want someone to kill him. All right, that's the government method. That's what they want to do. They want him dead. He's planning on running. Gavin Newsom is planning on running for Congress, for government. He wants to be the president in 2028. His entire ticket is on anti-fascist, and he is literally more than happy to have someone kill Stephen Miller, in my opinion. That's what he wants to do. I think this is an incitement of terrorism. All right, so Laura Loomer tweets, so much for turning down the temperature, right? Because that's what the libtards are all saying. They're sitting there in their house screaming, why? Why are we not turning down the temperature? When are we going to admit that Gavin Newsom is one of the ringleaders for the assassination culture? I agree. He's deliberately trying to get Trump officials killed. I truly believe it. I truly believe it as well. Now, Gavin Newsom responded to this, which is why I wanted to show you this tweet. Is this turning the temperature down, Laura? This is literally, by the way, the only thing leftists could do. They could only make bad hypocritical arguments. The reason why they can never hit you from a place of morality is because they have no morality. Yes, that's my hot take. If you're a leftist heathen, you don't have a moral center. Sorry, you don't. Hitler thought he was moral. You think you're moral. That's where we're at. So this is Governor Newsom's press office. Is this turning down the temperature? Sending armed marines into American cities? Yes, to arrest terrorists based. Calling Democrats a terrorist organization. He didn't say Democrats are a terrorist organization. He said that there are Democrats that are acting like they are in a terrorist organization. Also, true. Using the DOJ to go after political opponents. He did not use the DOJ to go after political opponents. They're getting, what's-his-face, Comey, the ex-FBI chief, arrested. A, he's not a political opponent. B, he lied under oath in Congress, allegedly. Limiting free speech. Free speech was not limited. Where was free speech limited? Jimmy Kimmel is back. But literally, where is free speech limited? This is not even true. Saying speaking out is a blood libel. No one's saying this. Creating an enemies list. Yeah, you're an enemy. I'm sorry. You're an enemy. And Laura Loomer responded with, honestly, a fucking nuke. She pulled out, I don't know how she did it. She pulled out the fucking nuke. Harvey Weinstein fucked your wife, Gavin Newsom. I know you're mad. You have to pretend to still love her, as she calls herself the first partner, and probably still has the taste of Harvey's dick in her mouth. But that's not an excuse to try to get Trump officials and ICE agents murdered. I will not lie to you. I will not lie to you. She fucking cooked. She cooked. She absolutely killed him. I don't know what's going on. Holy fuck, she killed him. Anyway, I was hoping for riot coverage. Oh, we'll be getting there. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Yeah, no, this is absolutely diabolical. Yeah, no, this is crazy. Like, literally fucking killed him. So Gavin Newsom's press office continued doubling down with shit like this. Here's Stephen Miller. Fascism. You see, as you can see, Gavin Newsom is trying his absolute best to capitalize on the Disney adult voter base. All right, Disney adults that thinks everything is fascism are literally lining up in droves to vote for Gavin Newsom. All right, and then yeah, that's where we're at. They really want a crazy leftist to shoot another conservative. Absolutely true. And then they're gonna say, you know, it wasn't a leftist, it was secretly a MAGA guy. We'll blame guns. They have the fucking game all laid out before them, and we have been way too easy and lenient on these motherfuckers for way too long. I'll be honest. Way too lenient on this shit. We can't take this lightly because they're killing us and they want us dead and they're celebrating our deaths. So today I decided I am going to, because they're so scared of Stephen Miller to the point that they're putting a fucking target on their head. Before I show you the absolute retard shit, all right? I hope you're excited. Before I show you the retard shit going on in Portland, Oregon, I'm going to show you why they want Stephen Miller dead.
You may assert there's no waste in the Pentagon. You may assert there's no waste in
Stephen,
Treasury.
I'm not.
You
I
assert
don't
there's
think
no
anyone,
waste.
Stephen, I don't think anyone.
Then why are you not celebrating these cuts? If you agree there is waste, if you agree there is abuse, if you agree there is corruption, why are you not celebrating the cuts, the reforms that are being instituted?
Good question.
It is true that many of the people in this room for 4 years failed to cover the fact that Joe Biden was mentally incompetent. It is also true that many people
He also didn't release the Epstein files, by the way.
in this room who have used this talking
I'm just saying, I think that leftists are trying to call Trump a fascist to obfuscate from the fact that they didn't release the Epstein files.
point that Elon is not elected fail to understand how government works. So I'm glad for the opportunity for a civics lesson. What President Trump is doing
Tell us how it
is
is.
he is removing federal bureaucrats who are defying democracy by failing to implement his lawful orders, which are the will of the whole American people. We have these giant cavernous office buildings in Washington, D.C., carved out of marble, stone, and granite in the Greek classical style, some of the most gorgeous buildings on earth. The taxpayers fund it, they pay for it, they upkeep, they provide electricity to, and no one's showing up.
Yeah, what the hell,
and
man?
what are they doing at home? Watching their favorite streaming shows?
Yeah, what are they doing?
It's crazy.
He just kills the media. He's like really pretty. He's so basic. He just says basic, obvious facts, and they're fucking flabbergasted. He doesn't code it with anything. He's just like, are you retarded?
Of course they have to get back into the office because they work for everyone watching me today and watching you today. The illegal aliens that Joe Biden brought into our country are not full stop doing farm work. They are not. The illegal aliens he brought in from Venezuela, from Haiti, from Nicaragua, they are not doing farm work. They are in our cities collecting welfare. As for the farmers, there is a guest worker program that President Trump supports. Over time as well, we will transition into automation, so we'll never have to have this conversation ever again. But there's no universe in which this nation is going to allow the previous president to flood our nation with millions and millions of illegal aliens who just get to stay here. And we are simply not going to allow a subset of those illegal aliens to rape and murder our citizens. There is probably no entity in the government that is more of an entrenched power center of unelected bureaucrats with less accountability, less oversight than USAID. They funnel money to their cronies all over the world through a swampy network of NGOs, non-governmental organizations. What Democrats are saying is they oppose democracy itself. They oppose the idea that the American people...
They voted for Trump and they want to get rid of him by any means necessary. They'll try to jail him. They'll try to kill him. They'll try to lie about him. They'll try everything to get rid of the man that was voted for by the people.
Can elect a man, in this case our President Donald Trump, to reform the government according to the will of the people. This is a battle between the will of the people through their Trump and the will of an
Shut up, bitch, bald man talking.
Unelected federal bureaucracy. So we and President Trump are on the side of democracy.
The Deputy Chief of Staff, Stephen Miller, and that's why they're trying to cook him. Dude, you don't understand how based he is, like, constantly. It's kind of crazy. So everyone's recognizing this fact, you know? They know exactly what they're doing and exactly why they're doing it. Absolutely. They want to kill more people. Absolutely. No lies detected. So this was just released by the White House today. So I felt like we have to see what's Stephen Miller been up to. While Gavin Newsom is trying his best to make believe that California isn't a complete shithole and he completely let down his entire state, this is what Stephen Miller's doing while they literally put a target on his very shiny bald head.
It truly is one of the most heinous things that has ever happened in the history of our country. What James Comey did to our democracy.
Ex-FBI chief.
I can't think of anybody in modern history who has done more to sabotage and attack our constitutional republic than James Comey. Beginning with the Russia hoax in...
So James Comey, for those of you unaware, he showed up. He was the ex-FBI chief, and he said that Russia was pushing Trump was completely controlled by Russia. Russia pushed Trump, and he was caught lying in Congress under oath. And it turns out he knew that it was never Russia, and he pushed that anyway.
2016, as you said, the dirty dossier, James Comey, as the head of the FBI, tried to lay a trap to remove a duly elected president from office. To imprison and incarcerate his political allies and friends, and to lead an actual coup against the laws and Constitution of the United States. What James Comey did is truly one of the most severe assaults on our freedoms and liberties that has occurred in the whole history of this nation.
No lies. And he worked with Obama. Could we please get that guy thrown in this Lammer too? So you don't understand why. So ever since they started putting a target on him, right? Mussolini called him a fascist, right? So ever since he called him a fascist, I don't think they understand how this works. So A, they want some deranged libtard to kill him, and B, people started making fan cams from him. They accidentally Streisand affected this man into the stratosphere.
I would say that the mayor of all these Democrat cities, like Chicago, what you are doing to your own citizens is evil. Subjecting your own citizens to this constant bloodbath and then rejoicing in it is evil. And you should praise God every single day that President Trump is in the White House. The Democrat Party does not fight for, care about, or represent American citizens. It is an entity devoted exclusively to the defense of hardened criminals, gangbangers, and illegal alien terrorists. The Democrat Party is not a political party. It is a domestic extremist organization. Look at Chicago.
I wonder why they want him dead. I wonder why they're trying to kill him.
They've shut down the police department, they've handcuffed law enforcement, and as President Trump says, they have turned the streets of Chicago into a bloody killing field. Here in Washington, D.C., before President Trump launched the federal law enforcement liberation in D.C., there was a murder on the streets of this town every other day. Body after body after body after body. That was Washington, D.C. Residents were afraid to go to restaurants. They were afraid to go into entire neighborhoods. They were getting carjacked, left, and beaten. That was Washington, D.C. Now we're 2 weeks homicide free, the safest the city has ever been in its entire history. And the Democrats is jumping up and down and saying, thank you, President Trump. Thank you for saving our lives.
You should get on your knees. Get on your knees. My pants are already down. I'm ready. Get on your knees. Start licking.
Thank you for saving our cities. Instead of
this orange lollipop ain't gonna polish itself, Democrats. But what do they do? What do? They walk around. They say Trump is a fascist because he's arresting criminals.
Thanking him for that, they're saying, President Trump, how dare you save our lives? How dare you save our children? How dare you save our city?
I love how he just phrases it so, like, plainly.
The Democrat Party, Sean, that exists today, it disgusts me.
Nothing but truth. Nothing but truth. Come on, Democrats. What y'all doing? So anyway, here's the funniest thing is every time they take a clip of Stephen Miller. So this is Morgan J. Friedman. He's a retard. So he says, obviously they're bad. And I'm like, this is just another example. Stephen Miller, full-fledged Nazi, should be treated as such. What the fuck do you think that means? Like, literally, what do you think that means? That means kill him. Right? Let's not be retarded about it. So this is the clip that the Democrats are using to say that Stephen Miller is a Nazi and needs to die.
As I'm feeling right now, this is something people say, I mean, you kind of know the answer. There's incredible sadness, but there's incredible anger. And the thing about anger is that unfocused anger or blind rage is not a productive emotion.
Right.
But focused anger, righteous anger, directed for a just cause is one of the most important agents of change in human history.
Probably showed that. Amen.
And we are going to channel all of the anger that we have over the organized campaign that led to this assassination to uproot and dismantle these terrorist networks. So let me explain a little bit what that means. So,
all right, let's do it.
We've got 30 seconds, so be quick, Stephen.
The organized doxing campaigns, the organized riots, the organized street violence, the organized campaigns of dehumanization, vilification, posting people's addresses, combining that with messaging that's designed to trigger and incite violence, and the actual organized cells that carry out and facilitate the violence, it is a vast domestic terror movement. And with God as my witness, we are going to use every resource we have at the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, and throughout this government to identify, disrupt, dismantle, and destroy these networks and make America safe again for the American people. It will happen, and we will do it in Charlie's name.
Thank you, Stephen. Don't go away. I'll be joined by a guest of friends.
So anyway, so that's JD, Just Dance, Vance 48. I hope he keeps Stephen when he actually becomes the president. But this is fascism now, according to leftists? Like, what are we doing? Like, literally. Like, this is the clip that they decided to post? Like, look, this is the clip. He's like, he publicly labeled the Democratic Party as a terrorist organization. No, he didn't. He said the network of organizations that are funding terrorists and doxing officials need to be destroyed. All right, that's what we said. That's the only thing that he said. So if this is fascism, then you are making a terrible case here because people like this. Because we actually don't want terror networks in our country destroying and doxing our law enforcement. Obviously. Dude, there are just endless clips of Stephen Miller obliterating the news. And unlike most people in the Trump administration, they tend to only go on Fox News, all right? They try to go on Fox News, like right-wing sources. I have never seen this guy on Fox News. He is always on the opposite news networks, and he just kills them.
I want to go to what is a big win today for the administration from the Supreme Court. I mean, it handed you all a win on ending deportation protections for a certain group of migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. So you have these wins. I think it was the second one on this particular issue just just in the last few weeks. Yet, even just yesterday we saw, whenever a judge rules against this administration, you say they're going rogue. Do you think a judge should just rubber stamp what your White House does? If not, what checks and balances do you think should be in place for this White House?
All right. So all the activist judges, right? Activist judges are going out there trying their best to veto Trump at every possible turn. Get ready.
It is not the job of a district court judge to perform an individual green light or red light on every single policy that the president takes as the head of the executive branch. Just think about the premise baked into your question, respectfully, Pam. You're saying that when the American people elect a president of the United States of America,
I'm not saying
it is what you're saying, bitch. Now shut up and listen to the bald Jew.
Implication. Who is the sole head of the executive branch?
Just be quiet.
Let me
pipe
finish.
down, libtard. Pipe down, libtard.
I will answer the question happily. But look, when you have these kinds of lazy assumptions built into questions, it makes it hard to have a constructive dialogue.
What is a lazy assumption? I said you all had to win.
You said no. You said is it my expectation?
I'm speaking.
You have to cut him off because he's murdering you.
You said, is it my expectation? It's not just you. It's the whole media. In other words, when you hear a sentence like...
It is a completely fair question. You say judges
and I will gladly answer it. When you say, do we think district court judges should rubber stamp each action? There is a premise that is built into that is absurd. The president is the sole head of the executive branch officer in the entire government that's elected by the entire American people. Democracy cannot function. In fact, democracy does not exist at all if each action the president takes, foreign policy, diplomatic, military, national security, has to be individually approved by 700 district court judges. That's democracy. So if there's 15 communist crazy judges on the court, that each of them as a team working together can block and freeze each and every executive action. Joe Biden was allowed by that same court system
Some of them
to
are Trump
import 20
judges,
million
though.
illegal foreigners.
Why did Trump put these crazy communist judges, as you call them, on the bench?
That's not the point.
You heard President Trump himself say that the Federalist Society and Leonard Leo has created a broken system for judicial vetting. And God knows this time around, we are not going to be using...
So does that mean he doesn't support Coney Barrett for the Supreme Court?
What it means is simply this and nothing more. We're not going to be using...
He's trying so hard to get him with gotchas, and he's just like, I am going to destroy your premise, the first floor, the second floor. Your argument is going to look like Gaza. Oh, well, holy fuck.
The Federal Society to make judicial nominations at all going forward. But let me tell you about these rogue judges. This is the most litigated issue over the last 10 years. Over the last 10 years, whether or not to deport the foreigners who invaded our country illegally. That is the most litigated issue. You want a democracy in this country? When Americans vote, when they cry out and they beg for a president to come and save them from this invasion, and some district court judge in San Francisco or Manhattan or Los Angeles tries to shut it down and shield these foreigners from deportation, while the courts did nothing to stop Joe Biden and his administration and his officers, the Mayorkas, from overseeing this invasion. And of course, we celebrate the court stepped in.
And actually went with the Trump administration, the previous one with Biden. But
nobody stopped Joe Biden from flooding this country with foreign invaders. And I will say,
so let me follow up with that, because
and we celebrate the fact that 500,000.
This is my little rebellion against Gavin Newsom. I am just going to make this man famous. That's what I decided. All right, I'm going to contribute. I'm going to fight for the cause. All right, Stephen Miller fucking killed her. All right, realistically, you claim that you're fighting for democracy, and you want the person that was elected by the American people, every single fucking thing he does, some random bullshit district court judge communist retard is going to destroy it. And it's insane, man. He cooks so hard. So that's when he's on CNN. All right, that's when he's on CNN going up against the retards. Here is when he's on Fox News and he's given the floor, because he is another beast when he has the floor.
So what are they saying about this Maryland dad? That this guy raked leaves, he licked his ice cream cone on vacation with the family down at the beach. How nice of a guy can they make this guy out to be when he's been designated a gang member and a trafficker?
Jesse, you and I have never received in our lives as much positive press as this MS-13 gang member has received. We couldn't get headlines like that if our lives depended on it.
Yeah.
So let's just go over the facts here. He is an illegal alien. Fact one. What do you do with illegal aliens? You deport them. Fact two. He's an MS-13.
Right.
What do you do with illegal aliens who are also in a transnational terrorist organization? You deport them more quickly. And on top of that, he's implicated in human trafficking.
Right, that's not good.
Deport. This is who they're going to bat for.
That's right,
What are we
baby.
supposed to do? Buy the guy a house?
It's almost like the Democrats are running defense for terrorists constantly or something. It's almost like they're retarded. Ooh.
Get him some free health care?
Yeah.
Maybe let him run for Congress?
Yeah, you're supposed to do all of those
I
things.
mean, this is who this is the Democrat Party. This is who they stand for. This is who Cory Booker stands for in 2025. They stand for illegal alien predators that are in transnational cartels. That's the Democrat Party of today. We will.
Yikes. He just lays it out. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, that's why they want him killed. Now, anyway, so that was the propaganda wing of the leftist party. Let's talk about the militant wing. So this is breaking news from an hour ago. 3 people were just killed in an active shooting in North Carolina. At least 9 shot, 3 killed after gunfire erupted from a boat at the American Fish Company restaurant Southport. It's a yacht club. Let's just say someone killed the rich in a yacht club. Again, we don't know who it is. They apparently fled by water, and we don't have any evidence yet. But look, man, I don't know who killed the rich. Don't know who did it. Not jumping to conclusions. Don't know who killed the rich. But anywho, that's kind of where we're at right now. It's a very scary time. Holy shit. I actually pulled up way more Miller clips than I expected. Anyway, so this is what we're dealing with, all right? So this is just a classic example of what the Democrats have been up to.
So we gotta figure out a way to stop ICE from what they are doing as soon as possible.
So it sounds to me like what Bernie Sanders said is stop police officers from doing their jobs. You mean impede federal law enforcement from doing their sworn duty to urge Americans to follow when such a crime is called an insurrection? With all due respect, this is what we're dealing with, okay? This is what we're fucking dealing with. This guy should go to jail. Again, he should go to jail for this. This is inciting violence against law enforcement. I don't know what, this is a felony offense, I would think. Like, that's why this is so insane. Because we're literally living in complete and utter cartoon land. They literally want lawlessness and open insurrection and crime against law enforcement. That's what they're getting. That's literally what they're getting. To the point that the White House apparently released a list of Democrat agitators. Tier Waltz smeared ICE as the modern-day Gestapo. Gavin Newsom likened ICE to secret police, calling him authoritarian and proclaiming a right to push back. J.D. Pritzker claimed that the country is becoming Nazi Germany. And it basically has a list of all the fucking retard Avengers in the Democrats that are essentially going after ICE. John Larson said ICE is the SS. All right, here we have Ilhan Omar said ICE are vile and beyond cruel. Right? So every single one of them. Look at this list. Oh my God. Like, these are all people that are fighting against America. Because there's no other way to put it. ICE they're literally doing their duty. Getting illegal immigrants out of their country is the actual job. And this is like the Democrat retard Avengers showing up for this shit. It's insane. So, Stephen Miller made a tweet, which brings us into today's main topic very, very well. Assets mobilizing. The campaign of terrorism will be brought down. He made this tweet after being labeled a fascist by Gavin Newsom, and he just immediately doubled down. So this is the Democrat governor of Portland, of Oregon. All right, retard Oregon land over here. She looks everything like I would expect her to look like. And this is what she had to say before the troops roll in and fight Antifa.
Me and the group of elected leaders and community leaders behind me, we are in the central city of Portland, Oregon, and it is a beautiful day, and we are very happy to be here speaking with you today. In my
Tell that to Ice Cube.
Conversations directly with President Trump and Secretary Newsom, I have been abundantly clear with them that Portland and the state of Oregon believe in the rule of law, and we can manage our own local public safety needs.
Which, by the way, she doesn't do. Yep, everyone, radical lesbian Karen over here actually does not do the thing that they need to do.
There is no insurrection.
There we go. She got the woman vote, though, so that's important. She probably fought for feminism and stuff.
There is no threat to national security, and there is no need for military troops in our major city.
Except that's just a lie.
Military service members should be dedicated to real emergencies.
You mean like domestic terrorists?
The members of the Oregon National Guard, their mission is to stand up and protect Oregonians, and they will do that every day, but they are not needed in the city. They are not needed here.
Right. So, anywho, what a clown. And Asmongold responded to this. It's amazing this retarded bitch and the cancel of Karens behind her even got elected in the first place. It's actually not amazing if you understand the fact that that there is an empathetic voter base in this country that is entirely based purely on feelings. That actually makes it make sense a lot more. They live in gated communities, shielding from the consequences of their narcissistic empathy, all while they condemn their own citizens to live in a PvP server. Completely true. Completely true. No lies detected. Feminism claimed another city, ladies and gentlemen. So let's do a deep dive. Let's see what's going on in Portland, Oregon. Let's see some on-the-ground reporting. Let's see the fucking bullshit that's happening there. Both sides, everybody. Both sides. Poor Ice Cube, man.
A new executive order designed to counter domestic terrorism. The administration focused on preventing certain groups from executing acts of violence and repeatedly blaming the, quote, radical left. It comes as ongoing protests continue outside of the ICE facility in Portland, Oregon.
Looks to me like you're not doing a very good job there, Governor Karen Retard. Sorry, bro. Someone I just said she got all the votes from bikes for... Holy shit, that's a slur that I just said. Anyway, so, yeah, no, that's where we're at right now for some reason. It's kind of insane that's where we're up to. But, like, literally, this is what's going on, man. Like, look what's happening. This shit's not normal. And if you're not willing to arrest them with your local police, then, yeah, the military should be called in. This shit should not exist in America. These are domestic terrorists, man.
That's where protests peaked in June. NewsNation's Jorge Ventura is on the ground in Portland with the very latest, Jorge.
Well, Nicole, more of those protests are expected later tonight, but now Antifa has been designated as a domestic terrorist organization.
Good.
So it'll be interesting to see how large those demonstrations are later tonight. President Trump calling that group professional agitators. And about half an hour ago, Department of Homeland Security tweeting this, Nicole, on that group Antifa saying, quote, rioters in Portland, Oregon have repeatedly attacked and laid siege to an ICE processing center.
True.
Many of these criminals have been arrested and hit with federal charges.
By the way, breaking news. A lot of people are unaware of this. This is a really important fact. For the longest time, these people would get arrested and then just released out of the back door. Now that they're designated terrorists, these are not state charges. These are federal charges. They're, as we say on the Nuxanor channel, 1000% fucked.
City Antifa, a recently designated domestic terrorist organization, illegally docks ICE officers. They publish their home address online in public flyers. Individuals associated with Antifa also sent death threats to DHS personnel. And some of these protests have...
Every single one of these people, round them up, they're terrorists, round them up, put them away, drone strikes.
Turned violent right here, Nicole, in Portland, Oregon, outside of this ICE facility.
I don't like violence. I don't like political violence. I hate political violence. I do like the rule of law. I want full force legal violence. Legal violence. Arrest the terrorists. Put them away. Goodbye. Get more of those motherfuckers. I don't care. Goodbye.
You guys should take a look at it. You can see that the
Antifa is about to Antifo. Yep. We're there.
He is completely boarded up. You're actually looking at some of those videos of those clashes. We've seen crowds throwing rocks and grenades, even launching fireworks at agents and towards the windows of this facility.
And they're not considered terrorists? Why?
Groups have even attempted to set a fire while agents were still inside the building. Now,
me and the group of elected leaders and community leaders behind me, we're in the central...
Dude, she literally looks like a side character in a woke video game. Like, how do they create these creatures?
City of Portland, Oregon, and it is a beautiful day, and we are very happy to be here speaking with you today. In my conversations directly with President Trump and Secretary Newsom, I have been abundantly clear with them that Portland and the state of
Bro, we gotta do something about feminism, man. This shit's diabolical. The feminization of the West, I think, is the open doors for all of this shit. It really is. I think that the hyper-feminization of the left in general and of the West is opening the doors for literally everything. Like, holy shit, gender bend Newsom over here is really cooking.
Again, believe in the rule of law, and we can manage our own local public safety needs. There is no insurrection. There is no threat to national security.
There is no insurrection. We're just advising our people to impede law enforcement. Yep, that's right. We're following the law here, except for, the laws and stuff. Obviously, we don't care about that so much. That's not important.
And there is no need for military troops in our major city. Military service members should be dedicated to real emergencies. The members of the Oregon National Guard, their mission is to stand up and protect Oregonians, and they will do that every day.
But they're not doing it.
They are not needed.
They're not doing it.
They are not needed here.
But they're not doing that. They are needed here. Boy. So that's crazy, man. It's insane that we like vote for these people, you know? Like, we actually vote for these people, bro. Like, what do we do? Final raid boss of woke. Bro, that's crazy. All right, let's go.
We got to talk about President Trump doing something that I think that we should have did a long time ago, which is to have the federal government now start to go after the Antifa domestic terrorists who continuously commit acts of violence and chaos against ICE agents. And that's exactly what he's doing in Portland, which seems to be ground zero for domestic terrorist activity that the Democrats...
We as in humans, not we as in I'm sure most of you did not vote for this creature.
The leadership there, they seem like they're okay with, right? They're totally fine. They're totally okay with allowing this type of terrorist activity in a major city and not doing anything about it.
How is it out there tonight in terms of the noise?
All right.
Well, Liz, we actually saw about 30 people when we rolled.
How is it in terms of the noise? What? No, I'm asking if it's loud out there. What?
By earlier this evening, and things are pretty quiet for the most part, other than the occasional honking and yelling like what you just described. But a lot of neighbors are used to something a lot different. A lot of flashbangs, pepper balls being sprayed from ICE agents onto protesters, and then fireworks being thrown at the ICE agents. So while it looks a little bit different tonight...
Why are you describing it this way? Like it's two justified sides fighting against each other. One is law enforcement, and one side is terrorists. We have to defund every single media network that is not actually calling terrorists terrorists. Because if you're not calling them terrorists, then you're running defense for them.
Some neighbors say they're fed up with everything going on.
No shit.
For the last 70 days or so, we've documented scenes much like this at the ICE facility on McAdam Avenue.
Yeah,
it's completely like a war zone.
Tear gas deployed, fireworks thrown, flashbangs ringing out.
One resident sued the city to force cops to enforce.
Well, we don't need to live like this. This really is a PvP zone. This is crazy.
The laws, and this was uncovered during discovery. One officer telling another on the police radio, quote, "If it were not ICE, we could assist directly."
This is a full-on abdication of police duty in a 4-block radius that impacts some of the most vulnerable Oregonians that we have. Now they've said, meh, we're just going to let violent rioters do this for 80 straight nights, and we don't care.
And here's saying that people need to live like this. It really is insane that people need to live like this. Not anymore! They're terrorists now, they're going to jail. Sorry. They jail. Dude, we have to, like, wake people up because this isn't just about policy changes and stuff like that. This is really about a fight for the future of the West that's happening in real time.
The crazy part about this, right? The crazy part is that these left-wing domestic terrorists are so deranged. They hate ICE so much that anything associated with ICE, okay, ICE vehicle, ICE paraphernalia,
Ice Cube,
ICE property, they're seeking to destroy it, okay? There's a lot of speculation about...
Ice Cube, that's crazy. I didn't make that connection until right now. They bombed Ice Cube's bus because it's ICE. No! Okay, anyway. Bro, we need, I'm telling you, man, we need basic biblical values to be brought back to the people. Like, one thing that I always say, look, maybe you believe in God, maybe you don't believe in God. I personally do. I love God, and I know God loves me. All right, so maybe you believe in God, maybe you don't. Biblical values stood the test of time as the strongest and most materialistically best moral system in the history of the world, okay? Whatever you want to say, whatever your personal belief systems are, there has been no moral system ever designed that is superior to the ones that are founded on biblical morals. It never existed. It's the best for your country, it's the best for your state, it's the best for your people, it's the best for your home, it's the best for your family, your relationship, it's just the best. So, whatever you want to say, this shit that we're seeing in Oregon, this ain't it. Oh, and also God wants you to do it, by the way. But they hate God, so that's where we're at.
Why is it that Ice Cube, who's a rapper, why was his tour bus bombed in Portland? Well, maybe because it had the word ICE on the bus, but that's how deranged these leftists are. They're literally bombing anything that they think may or may not belong to ICE.
A tour bus for rapper Ice Cube caught
That was his joke the whole time.
fire in downtown Portland Tuesday morning, just hours after his Moda Center show. Fire crews responded to Southwest Oak and Broadway, where they say that
it's like an actual South Park episode in real life, bro.
Bus had caught fire. They quickly put it out and
you see, if South Park was still funny and not cringe, all right, I'll be real, they would have played this shit up.
The smoke, no injuries were reported. Ice Cube's team says the crew is safe. The performer did share this statement saying, quote, I'm not taking this incident as a personal attack. A coward like that would burn anybody's property that was out.
Can we please get a guy on the media that could actually read?
Out there at the time. Meantime, investigators are reviewing surveillance footage and working to find out what exactly started the fire.
Yeah, again, I think that we have a good idea of why this happened. I think we have a really good idea.
Because there's a terrorist organization and they're like pretty indiscriminate with their fucking shit. Look, man. I personally, I know I've said this before, I have had family members murdered by terrorist organizations in the Middle East. Okay? They don't care. It's the same idea. They have their fucking bullshit ideology and they use it as an excuse, all right, to kill anyone. And they will constantly justify whatever they do because their completely subjective moral bullshit is the only thing that they care about. They will convince themselves that their moral justice that they have completely subjectively decided on, their morality is the only morality. And any casualties on the way to pursue that fucking bullshit, that's where we're at. And they will kill anyone. They don't care. They actually don't care. And that's where we're at. Antifa's moral guiding North Star is the downfall of Western civilization. Okay, that's what they want. They say it's what they want. They say no walls, no ICE, no USA at all. That's literally their fucking chant. No borders, no walls, no USA at all. Like, that's what they want. They straight up say it. It is a morally bankrupt organization. And they will kill anyone. They don't care. Obviously, they don't care. What the fuck? They only don't kill more people because they know they'll go to jail. That's why they're relying on their, transgender, mentally retarded, furry Antifa members to do the killing.
Of why Ice Cube's bus was targeted. But again, it really shows you how deranged these individuals are and how lawless Portland has become, right? Because these people are essentially allowed to attack ICE, and the police aren't going to do anything about it. Local law enforcement, they're not going to do anything about it. They're just going to allow it to happen because of their sanctuary city policy that clearly has been taken to the extreme, right? There can be no involvement whatsoever from law enforcement, local law enforcement with ICE, including to help protect ICE from these left-wing domestic terrorists.
What do we do, though? What do we do? Like, what are we even hoping for? We need to literally fucking destroy and rebuild the government. Because this shit is not working. It's just not working.
Who night after night after night after night after night after night.
Not violently. Not violently destroy. All right? Not violently. But we need to actually start arresting the terrorists. Right? If you are telling your people to fight back against ICE, then you are telling people to fight law enforcement. You are engaging in incitement of terrorism. You should go to jail. Like, I really see it as really simple. Like, we should put all of the criminals that are supporting terrorists in jail. I hear Guantanamo's weather is very nice this time of year. I have been talking to Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller is the Jew in charge of the weather. We will make sure that shit sucks over there, big time. Oh yes.
After night, have been harassing and committing acts of violence against ICE. And President Trump has said, enough is enough. Okay, we're calling in federal troops.
Everyone, this is JD, Vice President. He's in charge of yelling at people on Twitter, calling them dipshits. We love him. This is Pam Bondi. She's out there supposedly arresting people. And this is Stephen Miller in charge of the weather. Make sure shit sucks for all of them.
Sending federal troops to protect ICE in Portland, okay? And this is long overdue. And of course, Democrats are boo-hooing and crying about this, but it has to happen, right?
No! If you deport all the illegal terrorists, who will vote for us? No!
I mean, at this point, if Democrats are not going to establish law and order in Portland, then the federal government has to come in and do it. Because this is out of control.
Thanks.
So without further...
And by the way, it worked everywhere he did it. It worked in D.C. Why do they not want it in Portland? Because their entire ideology is anti-Trump. And who's going to vote for them if they deport the illegals?
Let's go ahead and get into it.
To follow our breaking news, just a short time ago, President Trump announcing on Truth Social that he is sending troops to Portland, Oregon to protect ICE facilities.
Safe.
Now, Portland is just the latest Democratic-run city that the president has either sent or threatened to send troops to in his growing crackdown on immigration and on crime.
Everywhere.
CNN's Kevin Liptak joins us now from the White House.
I don't even understand how you can frame this as a bad thing. It's like they're literally trying to arrest criminals, and it's like, oh my God, arrest criminals. Someone has to do something about this fascism.
Kevin, tell us, what more have you been learning about these latest developments here?
Yeah, and there's no question this is an escalation in the president's push to deploy the U.S. military on domestic soil. It follows this pattern. We saw it in Los Angeles. We saw it here in Washington, D.C.
This is all part of Trump's plan. When Trump said that pregnant women shouldn't have Tylenol, and all the pregnant women started overdosing and dying of Tylenol overdoses, it was his plan to enact fascism and kill the female population of the Democratic Party. What's next? Is he going to tell them to eat poop? Or not to eat poop, rather? That would be even worse. What if he tells the Democrats not to eat poop? They'd get fucked. They'd get absolutely destroyed. They'd all be eating poop. Damn, that would be crazy.
Of the president choosing Democrat-led cities and states to make this push and really kind of pushing.
Those are the ones that they're fighting against ICE agents. I can't believe he's doing it in Democrat cities. Democrats? Yeah, because those are the retard cesspit hodgepodge hellholes that are literally shielding the fucking terrorists and the illegals. Bro, look, man. He wanted ICE to just roll in, deport the couple million illegals that were dragged in by the Biden administration, okay? All right, that's what he wanted to do, okay? The blue cities decided to be fucking retarded. So he's like, we should fight against the blue cities and their retardation, all right? And now the media's like, well, it's obvious Trump is only targeting the blue cities because of fascism. Do you understand how this works? Like, this is insane.
The boundaries of the use on domestic soil of the U.S. military. The president writing on Truth Social this morning.
The president writing on Truth Social this morning, liberals of America, I advise all of you not to drink bleach. Do not do it. It's bad for your health. And we'll see what happens.
That at the request of Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, I am directing Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to provide all necessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland and any of our ICE facilities under siege from attack by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. I am also authorizing full force if necessary. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, there are...
About time. Full force should be authorized. At the end of the day, again, if local law enforcement is not going to do it, then we got to sit in the federal government because ultimately they are attacking federal agents.
Dude, these are our people. They're our people. This is our country. This is the elected president. He ran on getting rid of the illegals. Why are we even playing this game? If you're fighting back against law enforcement, fuck you. Go to jail. Okay? And if you're inciting that shit, also fuck you and also go to jail. I have a very, very simple perspective here. And that is why, despite the fact that I get all these death threats on Twitter and shit, that is why, despite all of that, I am the media and I don't care. Fafo, I don't give a shit. Okay? I don't care what you call it, dipshits. This is why you're losing public opinion. And the media twists this in the most disingenuous, evil ways. They'll call people fascist, and despite the fact the entire fucking media universe is coming against, people are like, yeah, we actually don't want guys blowing up our cities, actually.
Something has to be done about this, right? You just can't allow this to be a free-fall on federal law enforcement. Like, we just can't allow this. Okay? So, yeah.
We are deporting every member of Antifa to Gaza to help. They will be so helpful.
I mean, again, this is why President Trump put somebody like Pete Hegseth in charge. People are like, oh, Pete is so unqualified. It's like, no. Pete is more than qualified, right? He's more than qualified because Pete is actually willing to do what other secretaries of war probably would not be willing to do.
Also, Pete Hegseth is like a normal human man. I know this is a controversial opinion, but I actually really like that Pete Hegseth is like a completely normal human guy. This matters a lot, all right? This matters a lot. This is super important. He's a human, and he's like a normal guy. This is him at a baseball game today. All right, check this shit out.
All right, when y'all score, I want to see the gritty. Yeah, I want to see the gritty.
Damn. He's a normal guy. And by the way, the fucking retards, it's football, my bad. The retards in the media, they're all like, I can't believe he's doing this instead of doing something else. He's just a regular ass guy doing regular ass things. Deuce Volt in the name of God. And that's what I'm saying, man. Based as fuck. That's what we want. We want to see normal humans, all right? You know what I don't want to see? I don't want to see 999-year-old warhawk fearmongers in charge of the military deciding to declare war on random nations for no reason. You see, I actually way prefer a guy that goes to football games and wants to arrest terrorists in our nation.
Okay, they probably say, nah, we can't do it. Yeah, we can't do it. Democrats are going to be mad. They're going to be upset. No. Yeah. You got to put people in charge who are willing to do the right thing, okay? Who are willing to protect the American people, to protect federal law enforcement, to enforce the law, to establish law and order. Same thing with...
Bro, everyone keeps saying he has Crusader tattoos. He literally doesn't have Crusader tattoos. All right, I'm actually going to break this down. All right, we're going to break this down a little bit. Pete Hegseth tattoos. All right, so here's what he has. He has this one, right? Deuce Vault, which means God wills it, right? And then he's got this one. This is not a Crusader tattoo. This is literally a cross. Right, this is literally just an old cross. I think it was a Greek cross from like the 700s or whatever. Like bro, dude has the most based tattoos of all time. Damn, look at that shit. That's crazy. Right, he has Yeshua, which was Jesus' name in Hebrew. Like, dude, this is base tattoos. It's a cross on the Crusades. Well, it's a cross. That's just a cross. It might have been used in the Crusades. It's not a Crusader cross. It's a cross that the Crusaders used. There's a difference, okay?
The Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, they're in charge because, one, again, they're qualified, but what makes them so qualified is the fact that they're actually willing to do their jobs, right? They're actually willing to listen to what the president's saying and to do what needs to be done.
They just hate the cross because they hate God. That's their whole thing. The whole leftist ideology is just anti-God at every possible turning point. That's why they murdered Charlie Kirk.
In order to establish law and order in this country, we do not have a country if we do not have law and order. We have to have law and order.
A lot of unanswered questions here. One is the timeline.
Why is Nux more Christian than most Christians? I don't think I am, to be honest. First of all, I'm not a Christian. I just love God very much, personally. I think your life is better if you appreciate him because he appreciates you. So realistically, I just see it that way. So therefore, I think that my overlap with Christianity is very, very large because essentially the whole point is love God, accept God. That's the idea. Christianity says that, you know, Jesus was God's emanation in this world, but it's the same guy, same God. So I'm with you all the way. I am literally with you all the way, 100%. He makes everything better.
And exactly, we would see these troops arrive into Oregon. We also don't know what types of troops the president is talking about here, whether it's National Guard, whether it's active duty military. And we don't know exactly what legal authorities the president will be relying on, because remember, under law, it sharply limits the use of U.S. troops for domestic law enforcement purposes. And this is
where our police that aren't arresting people can arrest people as successfully.
Really kind of prompted a legal debate after the president did this in other cities around the country. Now, Portland has seen a number of protests around an ICE facility that's about 2 miles south of the downtown. They have been mostly peaceful, but there have been...
Mostly peaceful. It's always this bullshit with CNN. Like, I get, you notice the same pattern of behavior over and over and over and over and over and over.
Someone in my chat just said, bro, the DHS has brought in Gorgon the Destroyer to crack Antifa skulls if they act up at ICE. Oh my God. That's crazy. I'm sorry, man.
Again, for the mainstream liberal media. And it's become clear that they're not really liberal, right? They're actually leftist. The mainstream leftist media should be what we call them, right? Because ultimately they're essentially aligned with leftists. There's no reason why CNN should not just call this straight without their propaganda in there. It was mostly peaceful. No, it's not mostly peaceful. It is mostly violent, okay? But again, CNN and MSDNC and other networks are hell-bent on defending domestic terrorism, trying to soften it up, right? Trying to water it down, pretending that it's not as violent as it is, okay? Because they're trying to defend leftists, okay? It's one thing, again, if these were actually liberals, okay? And CNN was defending liberals, which they do all the time, right? But they're defending leftists. You're defending leftists. There's no
terrorists. All right, I'm really glad.
Reason why a liberal should be defending a leftist. Okay, liberals and leftists are supposed to be two separate things, right?
Sometimes I feel like people don't look at the world the same way I do. You look at the motivation, okay? You look at the end goal, and then you trace it back from there. Liberals and leftists are both anti-Trump. They're anti-Trump, so they're anti-ICE, so they work together. Even though they don't see things eye to eye, even though they fucking hate each other, even though they would eat each other's children, they hate Trump more. And that's literally how they align, right? Like, I'll give you a really simple example, all right? You want a really, really simple example? This is critical thinking 101. Why is it that radical Islamists ally up with the trans-Tifa gays? Like, how does this work? Right? These people would literally execute you if you're gay. Why are they allying up with the gays? Right? How is this happening? Well, they both have the same goal. They both want to destroy Western civilization, and therefore they have made this unholy alliance. It's actually pretty straightforward if you think about it.
But apparently
they hate Christians. They hate biblical values, you know, the way that it's interpreted in Christianity or Judaism. And that's why they hate, you know, Jews and Christians. In fact, it says it in the Quran. So let's be real. That's where we're at, man.
Not anymore, right? Apparently, we got to the point now where the liberal media is saying, you know what? We're going to protect leftists in this country. That is very telling to me, right? It's very telling.
Some violent clashes that have led to injuries for federal officers. It's led to arrests of some of the protesters. At one point, a guillotine was erected outside the building.
Whoa!
The Homeland Security Department said at the time that that was unhinged behavior. And we've
also guillotine. A guillotine.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, these are the same individuals,
Right?
right?
These are the people that say that the right wing are doing violence. It's the right wing that's doing violence. They're setting up a guillotine. Oh, my Lord.
These are the same people who tried to gaslight us into believing, well, we don't know the motives of the far left would-be assassin that tried to assassinate ICE agents. Well, we don't know why. It could be somebody on the far right, right, that thinks the ICE is not Gestapo enough. And it's like, we have not seen one act of domestic terrorism for somebody that's far right against ICE for not being Gestapo enough. We've never seen that, right? Like, we've literally never seen that. But every single day, we see acts of domestic terrorism against ICE from these leftists, right? Again, a guillotine. A guillotine. Where is Hakeem Jeffries? Why is Hakeem Jeffries not condemning this? Anytime this dude is asked about left-wing domestic terrorism, he points the finger at Trump as if Trump is supporting that. Trump doesn't support that. Trump is not supporting what clearly and obviously is the cause of a vast majority of the political violence in this country, which is far left extremist ideology. But if you listen to some of these liberal clowns that they let on CNN for whatever reason, no, actually, this is Trump's fault. All of this is Trump's fault. It is Trump's fault that the far left are committing acts of domestic terrorism on a daily basis.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired of conservatives gaslighting about
And every single one.
the current political environment and Donald Trump's
gaslighting. Conservatives gaslighting, guys.
rhetoric when all of this escalation can be traced back to his entrance into American politics. His claim to fame was saying that Obama wasn't born in America. He was the first presidential candidate to have his crowd chant, "Lock her up," about a political opponent. You can bring up the insurrection, even
I love how every single time the libtards try to make it look like the right is inciting violence, they bring up quotes of the right trying to get the rule of law enacted. Are we on the same page? Me saying, lock up Hillary for treason is not inciting violence. It's wanting the law to actually be applied. When I say, put Obama in jail for treason, or Biden in jail for treason, or anything like that, that is what we want to do when someone breaks the law. You tried to do this to Trump, to be clear. In fact, unlike me who's just saying I would like it, they actually indicted him 4 times. Like, they tried to put him in jail for 700 years. All right, they tried to kill him. Some would even go as far as to say, dude, I kept seeing this. Mehdi Hassan, a leftist, a terrorist supporter, basically kept saying that Charlie Kirk was inciting violence, so he deserved to die, because Charlie Kirk said that Biden needed to go to jail for treason. That's not inciting violence. That's wanting the law to actually be applied to people evenly. What are we even talking about?
in the past few weeks, my home city of Chicago, he posted a photo of Chicago being invaded by the Department of War. So the broader point here...
Invaded? Protected by the Department of War. Protected. I'm sorry, man. I don't want to be rude here, but after God intervened and helped King David from defeating his enemies, Philistine invaders into his land, David said the following: "For you equipped me with strength for the battle. You made those who rise against me sink under me. You made my enemies turn their backs to me, and those who hated me I destroyed." Psalm 18:39. These people are the invaders, okay? And these people need to be deported. I was going to say destroyed, but I felt like that could get taken out of context. That's where we're at, man. I don't know why this has become an incredibly controversial, convoluted, complicated issue. They invaded our country. They need to leave. You are refusing to get them out. Trump is like, well, we need them to leave, and you're not doing anything about it, so we're going to do anything about it. And you're like, they're inciting violence because they said they wanted Hillary to go to jail. Literally retard world.
Donald Trump endlessly deflects and tries to blame it on the other side when he is the one responsible for amping up the tension.
Oh, you're crazy. You fucking killed Charlie Kirk. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to play this game anymore. In fact, I refuse to play this game. You cannot tell me the leftists, they will shoot a man in the neck. They'll shoot a man in the neck, and then they'll look at you and say, why are you cranking up the tension? Like, this is insane.
America, and I've spent all of my formative years throughout high school, throughout college,
What formative years? Your mom clearly took Tylenol when she was pregnant.
looking to the president, who I'm supposed to be able to look up to, and seeing somebody who's trying to place blame on the left, who's amping up the rhetoric
Why are you blaming a man that murdered someone for murdering him?
constantly, and yeah, it's not good.
So you think it's Donald Trump's fault that a deranged leftist climbed up to the top of a building and shot up the ICE facility, not once now, but twice in Texas?
I think it's Donald Trump's fault that America has gotten to this heated place. I think that
Like, dude, this is levels of retarded bullshit I cannot stand. Furry, by the way. Leftist furry twice, 2 separate times, climbs up to a roof and shoots at ICE agents. It was Trump's fault because Trump angered the leftists. This is like the guy in England that just arrested a visibly Jewish guy because he was upsetting the pro-Palestine protesters. So he arrested the Jewish guy. Like, dude, this is insane. Like, this is like leftoid mental gymnastics, like on a whole other fucking level. Like, this is crazy. Are you insane?
Responsibility for the radicalization on the left that's causing this violent
outburst. That 29-year-old is radicalized by online communities and online algorithms. I'm not going to blame them, Trump, but he was caught in a lot of online video game algorithms and all these communities.
Dog, you cannot possibly blame video games for a leftist climbing on a roof and shooting at ICE agents. What are we doing?
Donald Trump,
but it's Trump's
10
fault.
years ago, Donald Trump amped up the tension in America.
So he ran 10 years ago, and this guy then...
Dude, he won the election. Fair and fucking square. He won the election. The majority of the country voted for him. You guys, all these fucking faggots have been bullshitting, crying, and screaming, kicking their legs into the air like wah, little baby bitches, okay? This is all your fault. All your fault. Dude was elected by the people, and you guys could not stop crying about it. Literally wake up and embrace reality.
10 years later, somehow you're connecting. Can't you just take responsibility for it?
Oh, wait, me?
But let's not do the, he has to take responsibility because he's a Democrat.
I'm a 22-year-old YouTuber. You want me to take responsibility instead of the United States?
I want you to.
Dude, this is it's the destiny argument every time. You're a 22-year-old YouTuber, man. Why are you so retarded? Like, dog, come on. You're a YouTuber, bro. Why are you retarded?
Understand.
I'm a 22-year-old
I
YouTuber,
want
dude.
you to understand that we are in the middle of an epidemic of left-wing violence. They're attacking ICE. They shot Charlie. It's happening all over the country. We have these Free Palestine people running around trying to burn down the Pennsylvania governor's mansion. On and on.
Then
and
maybe
on.
the president.
It's not Trump's
Maybe the president. Dude, this is the fucking leftoid mentality every single time. It's like, yeah, I know Hamas murdered 1,200 Israelis, but why hasn't Israel been nicer to them in the past? It's not their fault. Like, dude, this is literally they want a solution so badly, and then they're gonna try to make the fucking puzzle pieces fit into their solution that they have already predetermined, right? Right, Palestine is Trump's fault. Absolutely. Let's blame Trump on Palestine. This is insane.
The president of the United
the left
States
has radicalized to the point of saying, we're done talking and we're going to start shooting.
Scott, is Trump amping down?
But the data that was made by retards that don't count political violence as political violence. This is fucking insane. Like, this is a honestly delusional party. There's no unity with people that can't address reality. There isn't. I'm sorry. Until we're on the same plane of reality, there will not be unity. I don't want unity. I want you, peacefully and without violence, to be destroyed, okay? I want you to be absolutely obliterated peacefully and non-violently and legally. Destroyed, ravaged, okay? Legally. Legally, I want you murdered on the timeline without violence. Literally shut the fuck up, okay? No unity with people that aren't embracing reality. All right, you hit me with the fucking the right is more dangerous than the left because of bullshit fucking stats. Don't want to even discuss with you further. You're retarded. There's actually more than 2 genders. Nope. Not living in reality. Don't want to talk to you. You're not living in reality. You will not be reasoned with. You can't even accept the most basic, fundamental, real life situation of all time. Sorry, we're not getting anywhere. You're not even willing to accept the basics.
The tensions.
Amping down the tensions?
Yeah, is he taking the tensions down? Is he trying to do that?
I think he's mad that his friend got murdered, if you want that.
Why do these Democrats continue to defend these leftists?
Insane.
Why? I don't get it. I don't understand. Maybe because they are leftists. I think they're leftists. I think at this point, the Democrat Party is a leftist party. You can't call them liberal. They're not liberal. They're not center left. They're far left. Because there's no reason why somebody that's really center left.
I think they're retards. They want to get to power, and the only direction they see to get to power is to fearmonger the people into hating Trump more. I feel like they know that they're losing on everything policy-wise. So therefore, they just have to villainize Trump is the only thing they have.
should be defending this. There's no reason to water it down. There's no reason to not condemn it. There's no reason not to call it out, right? Like if there is some far right group, okay, that actually was committing acts of domestic terrorism at the same frequency that we're seeing from the left, it would be in my best interest as somebody that's center right to call that out and say, no.
Completely true.
We don't want to be associated with that, right? We're condemning this, right? Because that's not what we want to be associated with. But for whatever reason, Democrats are totally fine and totally...
I was about to say, look, I condemn the KKK, but they were leftists, so never mind.
Okay, we're being associated with these far left lunatics, okay? It really blows my mind.
Also seen President Trump talk about this city over the last week. He said on Thursday in the Oval Office that we're going to get out there. He said, quote, we're going to do a pretty big number on those people in Portland. He called them professional agitators and anarchists. And you saw in his Truth social post today referencing Antifa. The president has taken steps this week to label that group a terrorist organization. Now, leaders in Portland have made pretty clear that they are not welcoming federal intervention. The mayor said this week that like Mayor...
Round them up, they're defending terrorists, round them all up. I'm a very simple man, round them up.
Across the country I have not asked for and do...
Ma'am, are you defending Antifa? Yes? Jail, Gitmo her ass, immediately, don't care, do not care, sorry.
Not need federal intervention.
Don't worry, we'll put a trans woman into prison with you, you'll feel comfortable.
That's the mayor, Keith Wilson.
Well, clearly you do, because this keeps happening, right? If you didn't need federal intervention, then these individuals wouldn't be allowed to do this. They would all be arrested and thrown in jail, right? But since they're not, yes, you need federal intervention because you're not enforcing the law.
Yeah, it's literally that simple, by the way. It's literally that simple.
Also heard...
There are laws, you don't enforce it, you fucked up, we send in the military, goodbye.
From leaders in the city and state just last night as it seemed clear that this was happening. Listen to some of what they said.
I am sick and tired of watching the
nose ring detected, opinion rejected.
People in my community getting brutalized because they are immigrants or because they dare to speak up.
Yeah, people aren't getting brutalized because they're speaking up for immigrants. They're getting brutalized because they are illegal invaders or because they're terrorists. I'm really glad I was able to clarify that for you.
Sick and tired of it, and I'm tired of your lip service. Show up and do something!
Boy, I share their...
Lady couldn't win a battle against a salad, and the Karens are supposed to tell me to feel empathy.
Frustration.
They're brutalizing people. Can I give you a news flash? All right, this is going to ruin your day or make it better. All right, this is towards the end of the video, so I'm sure none of my haters made it this far. All right, more illegal immigrants have been killed by leftist terrorists with bad aim than by ICE agents. Let that sink in.
Trying to use every power we have as the federal team. Obviously, we're in the minority.
So you also heard Jeff Merkley and other officials there say essentially, don't take the bait, raising the prospect that sending these troops into Portland could be essentially an effort to try and goad them into conflict. And so it will be very interesting to see how this plays out over the coming days, over the coming week, just as we learn more about what specifically this federal intervention might look like. Danny.
Long overdue. Long overdue.
Throw them away.
Long overdue.
Lock them up.
Should have been done a long time ago. Okay. Yes, I am 100% pro the administration putting federal resources into dismantling Antifa. Right. It has to be dismantled. These people are committing acts of domestic terrorism. They have been responsible for this type of stuff since, as far as I can remember. It's been a long time, and I'm sick and tired of seeing it. And finally, we have a president that is willing to do what other presidents have not been willing to do, which is to crack down on Antifa and other far-left groups who routinely commit acts of domestic terrorism.
That's right.
It's about time. It's about time. So, let me know what you guys think.
I'm going to even do one better. Proverbs 28:4. Those who forsake the law praise the wicked, but those who keep the law strive against them. Deus Vult. God is good. God wills it. We will destroy evil, hopefully sooner rather than later. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.